Hey everybody, welcome back to Sex, Drugs, and Opera.
I want to get a band, like a for real fucking band to record that beginning. That is amazing.
Yeah, that's a nice one, man.
Every time I listen to the podcast, I love that beginning. It's so good.
Yeah, that drum fill, baby. This is your episode for October
6th.
We tried this once already and I fucked it up.
Jared can't keep shit straight.
Sorry, this is your episode for October 6th, 2018.
And today we're in Frankfurt doing it. We're at Jared's place today.
You might hear a bit of echo. That's
Echo!
We're not in the studio. We're not in the basement studio. We're in my Wohnzimmer.
Yeah, how about that?
Oh my God.
I like it.
Mike, let's just get right to the beer, okay?
Yeah?
We can banter it up, but let's
We're
dive
doing
right
a Bex. We're doing a Bex week this week. Bex puts out a couple different. They kind of want to dip their dick into this craft beer market.
Well, let's start at the beginning. Bex is a German beer brand.
Everybody
that comes
knows
out of
what
Bremen.
Bex is.
In America?
Yes.
No.
Everybody knows what Bex is.
I would really bet you money that most people don't know what Bex is in America.
I bet you they do. It's one of the more famous German beers, I'd say.
I bet you $20. I don't know how we solve this.
Neither do I.
All right. Well, then it's just
Put it up
empty
for
words.
a vote. Put it on Instagram. The story say, do you know what Bex beer is?
All right. Yes.
Put like a picture of the label.
Yeah.
This is their pale ale.
Oh, okay. Cheers.
And we're
yeah.
doing
Sorry,
that
I cut
today.
you up, but they came out with a pale ale, and they come out with a bunch of stuff. Man, I gotta adjust my mic, but I don't want to fuck this up.
Jared's still getting used to his mic stand. We bought him a mic stand, and he's not totally used to that shit right now.
This might be a bad idea. I'm just gonna deal with it.
You adjust it the other way.
Man, I just saw some graffiti on the way over here.
Yeah.
That said, like it was an Instagram handle,
What?
and it was like, "Follow me. I accept all followers."
Oh my
and
God.
likes. Yeah, they're graffitiing now, man, to get the follows and the likes.
No, that's just the sellout of the underbelly of the city life. You know, it used to be fuck the police and
right.
All kinds of shit. I can't think of nothing right now.
No, man. But that's what the world is, man.
Dude.
That was some real Black Mirror shit. What?
I got to tell you what, that Black Mirror shit. What do you mean? What?
You know the show Black
I know
Mirror.
the show Black Mirror. What's the reference though?
I don't know, man. Like this technology-driven world where people are like,
Oh, yeah.
vandalizing property to get like Instagram followers.
What
I mean,
is
that's
the
some weird
internet
shit.
equivalent of graffiti? I guess kind of like a virus would be almost.
You mean like? Well, we have to define what graffiti is, man. That's like fucking up someone's property to get your message out there. So I guess most Facebook walls are probably graffiti, man. That fucking fake news shit.
But you can graffiti on that. But the whole thing of graffiti is people see. Oh, you don't like it? You
No,
don't
it's
like the
good.
beer?
I didn't expect what I got.
Well, no, okay.
No.
Well, anyway, who the fuck cares about graffiti? I'll tell you one thing. I took the train in. My wife is on vacation with the kids. I wish I could have gone, but I had to work, and we had to do some podcasts and stuff like that. And so she has the car, and I took the train from Darmstadt to Frankfurt. And I'll tell you what, there are too many fucking people.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it was a football game today too, but
I know, but I was just looking. I looked out the train
Yeah.
when you went under the city, and just looked at all the people there, and it was like looking at an ant farm through that glass.
yeah, man, there's way too many people here.
Blah.
Half of them could go. We need that fucking Marvel movie. What's that purple guy's name? Thanos fucking snapped and half the world disappeared.
Oh man!
Nah, spoiler alert.
Oh, there you go.
People always say that after the spoiler.
Well, Bill Burr had a skit about that. He said, "Why can't we just let these big diseases burn through once in a while?"
Yeah, man, you'll be fine. I had swine flu and I was okay.
You had swine flu?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I remember I was like under like 4 blankets in my room, just shivering and sweating. You know, a couple days, ate nothing, lost some weight, bounced back, baby.
Nice.
So,
Hey, do we want to tell them what's going on today?
yeah, tell him.
If I had one of those fucking clickety clicks, what are they called?
Castanets,
Castanets,
maybe?
baby.
Yeah, but the dance is just for me, you know? The dance brings nothing to the listeners, man.
Oh, they can imagine my sexy bud squiggling. It's more of a squiggle. It's more of like a worm squiggle than it is a sexy Carmen move.
Yeah, we're talking about Carmen. I don't know if you said that.
I did.
Oh.
Well, they got it.
Okay,
Everybody
okay.
knows that. If you are listening to this podcast and you didn't recognize those two tunes I just did,
Yeah.
then quit.
Just quit listening.
Just fucking quit.
No, that's not true. I didn't know what the fuck that was. I thought that was Katy Perry or some shit.
No, what? You did not. I guess I didn't do the most famous of them.
No, man.
I didn't do the
thought,
Carmen aria, the big one. I didn't do Escamillo. I didn't do Don Jose.
Yeah, man. Let's get into this thing. So this comes from a good response we got on the Tosca one we did. People seem to like that. And so we're doing Carmen. And as with all of our operas, we usually start this bad boy off with a little bit of a summary, right?
Yeah, we can sum it up. I got to
Let's
say,
dive
though,
right in.
you always hear... do you know on opera bass? You know opera bass, right?
Yeah.
Basically, anybody who performs has a profile on opera bass. You don't have to do it yourself.
Is that a European thing or American thing? They don't put everything on there, but
No, they
most
don't.
houses do. Yeah.
They don't, but a lot of houses do, and I know a lot of American colleagues that have it on there too.
Oh, okay.
They have a statistics section to the website, right?
Okay.
And they update their statistics maybe not every year, but every other year, right? Mm-hmm. The last one was for 2017-18. You always hear Carmen is the most performed opera in the world. Well, I'll tell you what. Last year it fucking wasn't.
Yeah.
Last year it was Traviata and not Carmen, which I don't understand that one.
Traviata, Carmen, Bohème, Magic Flute.
Magic Flute was up there.
It's probably up there.
I can't remember what number 3 was. That it was either Zauberflöte or Bohème, I think.
Bohème, yeah, of course. I mean, Aida's got to be up there. Tosca's probably up there. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely a lot of
But Carmen was not number 1.
No,
And,
I didn't know that it was like that it had the stereotype of being the most performed opera.
Yeah, it might be of all time.
Yeah.
I don't know I can't even begin to speculate those numbers, but it's up there. It's up there every year.
What's funny about that is when Carmen came out, it was pretty heavily criticized. People didn't like that shit. It took, I think it took success abroad before people in France started respecting it. But I think Bizet died. It still wasn't a popular piece.
He died during the original run, during the first run of it, and everybody said that he died of disappointment. But fuck that, he died of some nasty disease that everybody got back there.
The old TB or something.
Probably some sort of penile disease.
That's usually how it goes.
Penile disease, penis disease. No, he didn't die of a sexually transmitted disease. But, most people, there were so many fucking people who died of a sexually transmitted disease. Sexually.
No, back then that was the fashion. But no, he did.
The fashion.
that was
oh my God, you got one? What do you have?
What do you have? I got the. Give you 2 guesses.
I got syphilis. Wow.
No, but leading up to Carmen, he did write things and say that he was proud of the piece and he thought it was one of the best pieces he'd ever written. So the whole he died of disappointment thing probably wasn't true, but no, it was not well received and it was criticized in the opening. People didn't like it, and it just shows like you got to think of that stuff when people premiere things these days. You know what I mean? You have to think about that. Like some of the most loved pieces we have, people fucking hated back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they somehow get this status. I mean, Carmen's a good piece. But sometimes there's like this status that gets attached to shit that sometimes maybe makes it better than it is.
I was talking to my agent the other day, and I told her, I said, I think I mentioned it in the last podcast or so, or one of the ones a couple times ago where I said, oh man, we're doing it on Christmas Eve, we're doing Fledermaus, and I never want to hear that music again.
Right.
And she said, I could never hear the music of Carmen again. I guess she performed it a lot.
Right? Yeah,
she performed it a lot, and she said, if I never hear it again, that would be too soon.
Yeah, I mean...
I kind of don't feel that way about the opera.
Yeah, but I mean, like in Germany, you perform these pieces so many fucking times. I don't think that's the trend in the States, but a couple years ago, I mean, I did Louisa Miller 60 times.
Jesus Christ.
In like 3.5 months.
That's,
you know what I mean?
That is even abnormal for Germany.
Yeah, that was like 4 or 5 times a week for like months.
Yeah.
And I could never hear a lot of that music ever again. That'd be fine. But Carmen, man, I think, when did that premiere? Like 1875-ish?
1875 was when it premiered.
And the thing you have to also remember about the lack of success it had when it came out is that was shocking as shit, You saw some cankles on stage, and I mean, like most people back then, you did not see cankles every day.
Interesting. The guy, so there were 2, I guess, what are you fucking laughing at?
Cankles, man.
Oh, yeah, cankles.
You just let it slip by, man.
I did.
It's all right. It's all right. I even said it a second time.
Cankles is a normal part of my parlance, dude.
Yeah.
So it slipped by.
It's all right.
Slipped by, but I guess you don't look at cankles very often.
No. Let's be serious then.
No,
all right? No humor. Okay? Ankles were surprising.
No,
then.
fucking cankles. That's what we. I'll never refer to them as ankles again. Just cankles. What was I gonna say? Yeah, it was one of the heads up at the opera. So the Opera Comique was considered, or at least this guy considered it a quote-unquote family-friendly place. So he was concerned about the subject matter and it not being able to be family friendly and it being and it having an effect on the sales.
Yeah,
tickets.
okay.
And what is one of the librettist names? Like à la vie or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
He assured him that it was going to be fine, but the end product is still pretty fucking sexy.
Well, in the book it came
Pretty
from,
sultry.
or the novella, or whatever the fuck it was called. I don't know. I think it was even more so. Like I think.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Somebody said the librettist. See, you can't quote us on any of this shit because Mike and I are going off the top of our heads. But somebody said
at the top of our Wikipedia.
No, Bizet's biographer said that like if they had shown Carmen as she was originally written, it would have been this fucking monster on the stage that would have been like unsellable.
I kind of wish.
Because they gave her some depth and they like roughed off the edges a bit of that character.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, even by today's standards, man or woman, it doesn't matter. That's a pretty intense character. You know?
Yeah, fuck yeah. We talked about Don Giovanni before, right? Modern hero.
Yeah.
One of the first examples of a modern hero. I'd say Carmen is the next best, or at least the.
She's very similar, man. It's like a female Giovanni.
Definitely, it's saying no all the way to the end. She's gonna die.
Let's not ruin the end. You just fucking spoiled it, man.
Oh, whatever. Again, if you don't know that fucking Carmen dies at the end of this thing, then quit.
All right. Well, then let's get into the synopsis so then we can talk freely about it. All right.
All right, dude.
So we start in Seville, I think, Spain, right?
Somewhere in there.
1820-ish, 1830-ish. And nice little countryside image we have. There's a guardhouse next to a tobacco factory, because why the fuck not? And, typical chorus shit. And a young lady comes up looking for Don Jose. Do you know what Don Jose is? I'm looking for Don Jose.
She says or something like, "Yeah, I'm looking for a soldier or something." And then Morales comes out and says, "I'm that fucking guy.
I'm a soldier.
I'm
baby.
here. I'm a soldier. You're looking for me."
And so he eventually says, "Look, man, he's not here right now, but he'll be back. Why don't you wait around? Hang out. We can wait for him to come back together."
But she
says,
pure.
"No, man, I'll come back later." So she fucks off.
Killer.
Then there's a change of the guard. Right, the new guards come, the other ones leave. It's just an excuse for a chorus scene, and then the women come out of the tobacco factory.
Wait. That's when Don Jose comes onto the scene.
Yeah.
It's him and Zuniga
yeah.
that come out and that come out and change the guard. So
Yeah,
go on.
so then we got Jose. Boom, he's on the scene. The women come out and they're smoking cigarettes. Which, oh my god, women smoking cigarettes. What the fuck is this? And they were probably really doing it back then too. And this is France, So.
Can I say something about this?
Anytime you want, Mike.
Interrupt
whenever you want.
Really, thank you. I'm going to interrupt the
flow.
The flow of the synopsis by talking about this one thing. Fuck it, I'll talk about it later.
All right, so
go on.
So they come out, and women are taking a smoke break. Change of the guards happening, and Carmen comes out, and she starts singing a song, the famous habanero fire sauce, fucking chili hot sauce song.
Fucking chili hot sauce.
Which is basically a song about you can't tame love, right? Love's
Can't
a
tame
fucking
me.
What is it? What's the translation? Like a something bird. I don't know, man. It's a fucking bird. Okay, you can't tame this shit. And all the men are like, pick me, fuck me, fuck my brains out. And then Don Jose's the only guy not caring, so she throws him a flower, right? Which is a very important part of the show. Because the flower comes back.
Prude dude, by the way. He in this thing is a bit of a prude.
Man, he had that sweet Michaela waiting for him, okay? He's got fucking mama waiting at home.
Seriously,
he's a mama's boy. He's just trying to pay for his student loans, okay? Put his time in the military and just get out debt free, okay? That's where he is.
That GI Bill, baby.
Yeah, he's just trying to get that GI Bill and get out.
Wonders.
All right, so she throws him the flower, and he's like, man, I'm not a part of this. I'm above this, right?
Yeah.
So then the girls go back to work, and then Michaela comes back. We didn't discuss. Is that just us? You mean? And so Michaela comes back to work, to where he is, and she says, "Hey, I brought you a letter from your mom, and I brought you a kiss from your mom." Right? Gives him a little kiss, right? And in the letter it says, his mom says, "You should marry Michaela." Right? That's what she says. That's
fucking lame.
Yeah. It's some nerdy shit. So she gets shy and runs away, and he's like, "Well, I guess mom's right." And then around this time, I think Carmen. No, there's a commotion. All the women come busting out.
That's right. She fucked up the face of one of the
because there was a knife fight.
Siggy girls.
And so she comes out with this knife, and you got to imagine like modern day, because back then they got the Spanish dresses, and it's all like kind of romanticized. But this is like fucking Moselstrasse, Frankfurt. I'll cut you, motherfucker! Like this type of person. All right, you gotta translate this stuff to today's standards. All right,
man. Carmen's a badass.
Yeah,
she is quite the badass. And anyway, she gets out there, and Zuniga and Jose come to break that shit up. And Zuniga says to Jose, take this bebop away and get her into jail.
Yeah, tie her hands up and put her in jail until we figure out what to do with her, right?
Right.
So he takes her in there, and then she starts dancing on him, and she's like, "Oh, if only..."
Twerking. She's twerking.
She's twerking.
Why would there not be a modern opera that gives a little twerk to the Carmen character?
I got something to say about that, but I have to wait till the end.
All right.
Bring it back. So she's twerking for freedom, and she basically says to him like, "Oh, if I was out of here, I would do so many naughty things to my lover at the fucking what's the name of the inn that they go to? There's the dude's Pastias Inn or some shit. I don't know. So Pastia. She's like, if I can go to, it's a dude, right? Pastia's Inn. Yeah. So she's like, if I could go to his fucking inn, oh man, I would do the dirtiest things, right? So she eventually convinces him, and he lets her free, and she like pushes him down and runs the fuck out, right?
Yeah.
And then he gets arrested for letting her go, right? And so that's basically Act 1, I think. Then Act 2, we're at the inn, and it's 2 months later because he was basically in prison for 2 months, right?
Yeah, 60 days. 60 days, I think it was.
Which you could also call 2 months.
I was just confirming. My brain remembered 60 days instead of 2 months, and I don't fucking know why.
No, it's good. So he's
Zuniga's there partying.
Yeah, the soldiers are partying with Carmen, and then her two friends, fucking Mercedes and Frasquita, I think. And there's also 2 dudes there that are smugglers, and that's Remendado
and Dancairo.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let you say the name.
Dancairo. Yeah.
I can't remember all this shit. And so they're partying, and basically Zuniga fucks off at one point, and
but the thing is he's there trying to get.
Yeah, he likes Carmen. That's kind of a whole
and
side
he's a pretty big loser. Zuniga's a fucking loser, dude.
Yeah, but he's Don Jose's boss. You can't forget that shit.
But boss doesn't mean
no. So he's there.
He's
there trying to shake things up, and she's not having it. So he fucks off at one point, and the smugglers are like, they say something. They're like, we got to get some contraband, like get rid of some shit. We need to do some illegal shit. You girls want in, and they're like, yeah,
No. So that's the whole quintet. Quintet. Yeah, the quintet is them basically talking about how useful girls are. In smuggling shit.
Yeah, because they need like the girls to distract these guys.
Definitely.
So they can like get shit across the border or some shit. I don't know, man. They're gonna do some illegal shit. All right, that's the whole fucking.
And they're
point.
gonna use titties.
And they're gonna use titties. And so Carmen's like, count me out of this one because I'm gonna wait for that sweet DJ, right?
DJ.
Fucking Don Jose, baby.
Donnie Joes.
So she's waiting for old DJ to give him that BJ. And so they leave. He comes in, right? And things are getting hot and heavy. She gives him a lap dance, right? Mm-hmm. And she's like, I know you've been waiting for this. And he's like, babe, I'm hurting for a squirting. And then right when he's about to bust, he hears the bugle, right? And so basically he's like, oh shit, I got to go to work.
And
right?
she's having none of it.
And she's like, oh, what, you fucking love your job more than me? Is your job got sweeter pussy lips?
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Jesus. Man, you are updating the shit out of the Carmen character. You are making Carmen fucking Jerry Springer ready. Does everybody, the European people know who Jerry Springer was?
No, man. I think everybody does.
Really?
Look, man, I'm just trying to make it shocking, okay? Because back then when people saw this, it was a shocking thing to see, you know?
Definitely.
So you gotta update that shit.
Anyway, so she says,
if you love me, you gotta leave with me.
And
you gotta leave that job.
He's like, listen, you stupid little fuckface. I have been in prison the whole time, and I've had this. And he gets out that flower.
He's been saving that flower for 2 months. That dirty, stinky,
Rotten flower. He didn't even have a book to press it in or anything like that. He was just holding it between his butt cheeks in prison.
Yeah. Hey, where do you think he hid that? The first thing they do when you go to pigeon is they strip you down, right?
Yeah.
And they make sure you got no contraband.
Right.
So where did he hide that flower, man?
That's a stinky flower.
Right? They just skim over that. Bizet? Huh? You think we're not going to think about that?
We know exactly where he had that.
So he pulls out that flower. He floats some high notes.
Beautiful stuff.
Little voix mix.
Actually, you know, that's interesting. That aria at the end, everybody I think it's a B at the end, right?
I think so, yeah.
Before he says Carmen, I'll do the Don Jose. I'll do the
Kaufman
Jonas Kaufman.
Yeah, man. You gotta do those round lips.
You gotta do the round lip and take your tongue and stick it in the back of your fucking throat. Anyway, that's supposed to be the B is written piano. It's supposed to. Oh yeah, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fucking pianissimo.
Yeah.
I've heard people. Oh god, the best. We'll talk about who our favorite singers are in it later, and I'll bring this aria back up.
Okay, yeah, because I got some stuff. So he sings that, and then Zuniga comes back looking for Carmen, right? So then Zuniga and Don Jose get in a fight. They get in a scuffle.
Yeah, he pulls on Zuniga. And that's oof.
Right,
oof.
so he's getting some of that Carmen influence.
He basically pushed his hand there. It's either I'm gonna go back to the
let
military
my boss,
and let my boss shit on my face again, or I am gonna go with these
so basically he got
smugglers.
Yeah, so the smugglers come, break up the fight, and like get Zuniga out of there. So basically now he has to go with.
He's
committed to this life of crime. So they leave, and time goes by. I don't know where.
Act 2. Now Act 2. Act 3.
Act 2's done. So yeah, now we're on Act 3, and they're like in the fucking mountains somewhere, right?
Yep.
And Carmen's basically sick of him, right? Because he's just being a whiny little bitch,
right?
Or some shit like
honestly.
that. Yeah, he's like, man, I wonder how my mom's doing, like all this shit.
Carmen, you know my mom, she's amazing.
Right? I lost my pension. How the fuck am I supposed to pay for retirement in these mountains? Right? He's having that type of thing. So so somehow she's looking at some cards. There's this famous card
Does
scene,
that happen before
which who gives a
Escamillo
shit
comes?
about? Yeah. Because they're looking at cards and it's like she sees in the cards that Don Jose.
Yeah, they're reading the cards. They're reading tarot cards.
He's gonna die or she's gonna die
Miss
because
Cleo.
of him.
You remember Miss Cleo?
God, Cleo now. Yeah, I remember Miss Cleo, man.
You know she was from California.
Yeah, of course.
I think she was from America at least, and she was an actress who I guess at one point came up with this Cleo woman as a character, and then she just made a fucking fortune.
I didn't know that, man. That's hilarious.
She was just an actress who was down on her, needed to do something, so she became like one of the most recognizable faces in America. Go Cleo! I don't know how to do it. It just becomes Italian for me.
Yeah, that was. You even had the hand up there.
Go Cleo!
You got Cleo to fix it in the pub. Look, okay, so they're in the mountain. She's reading cards. She's doing some gypsy shit, and like it's the whole aesthetic. And then at one point, Don Jose has to go stand guard because the girls are gonna go flirt with these people or whatever. And then you see Michaela comes into the mountains. Michaela. Sorry.
That's okay.
Michael. Man,
you've been in Germany
I've
too
been
long.
in Germany for too long, man. It really fucks it up. So she's coming with a guide and looking for him, and she hears a gunshot because Don Jose basically shoots at Escamillo because he thinks he's like an intruder or some shit.
Right.
But then it's Escamillo. He's like, "What the fuck, bro? I'm just trying to invite you to a party." And so they're cool till he says like, then they're buddy, right?
Yeah.
Then Escamillo says like, "You seen Carmen around, man? I'm trying to get in that."
Trying to dip.
What? And then he flips shit. And so then they have
What the fuck did you just say?
Say that again.
Go ahead.
Say that again.
Go ahead.
So then they have a knife fight, right? they fucking fight.
That's one of the best pieces of music.
Oh, that's a badass duet. They got the G and the B. I think you can double hook, right?
That's right. They're both hooking.
You're both hook and pushing there. So that shit happens. Whatever, man. And then Michaela. Sorry, the German is really fucking me up. She basically says like, "You got to come home, man. You gotta leave her, man."
Your wife, his
I'm
mother's
loving you.
dying.
And
His mother's dying.
Yeah, but before she says that, he's still not gonna go. Even though Carmen's treating him like shit, he would rather stay there.
See, that's what I'm talking about. You say everybody says how Michaela is so fucking pure and innocent.
Yeah.
She first tried to get him to go back with her.
Yeah.
Just because she loves him and everything. And then that didn't work, so he pulls up his dying mother.
Yeah, she saved it, man.
That's
she sat
emotional
on that.
blackmail.
She sat on that.
Right, that's what I mean. That's bullshit.
She sat on that. She
Shouldn't
said,
the most
"Don't
important
you
thing
love me?" And he's
Right.
like, "No." He's like, "Well, your mom's
you're
dying."
Ah!
Anyway,
shit.
so then he's got to go, right? And Escamillo's like, "Y'all should come to the bullfight." He fucks off. He's singing the song, and Don Jose leaves, and I think that's where we leave Act 3, right?
That's right. But he says, Bitch, I'll see you again.
Yeah? What, Don Jose says that to Carmen?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. He said,
I wonder whether that will come true.
So now we're into Act 4. Where do they do the intermission? They usually do it after Act 2, right?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
So now we're into Act 4 with the bullfight.
Oh, by the way, Act 3,
Yeah.
the prelude to Act 3 is also one of the most beautiful pieces of music.
They nailed it with some of that shit, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyway, Act 4 at the fucking bull ring, baby.
So we're at the old bull ring, and Escamillo and Carmen come rolling in. Everyone's there. The gang's all there. And they're like in love. And he's like, I fucking love you. She's like, I love you. Right?
That duet's kind of lame.
Yeah, wow, no, there's some beautiful lines in there.
No, it's fine. It's just...
When I sang that role, that was one of my favorite parts of the segment. There were some fun lines.
Okay, but the thing is, like, so it makes sense when it sounds disingenuous coming from Carmen.
Mm-hmm.
But then it also sounds maybe like just not totally honest love, right?
Well,
and it sounds that way from Escamillo too. But actually, now that I think about it, he's probably a player too.
now Carmen herself said you can't tame love, man. So
That's what I mean. And he's going from town to town.
he's the same way, man. So they're
doing the same thing. So it's it's oberflächlich. It's
superficial.
superficial.
Yeah, man. They're just going
Maybe
to.
that's the point. Maybe I misspoke.
Nah, man, they're just okay. We'll get there. All right,
Yeah.
so we're almost done. So bullfight's going on. So Carmen's friends are like, "Yo, girl, I heard fucking Don Jose here. He's fucking pissed." And she's like, "I don't give a fuck, right? I'll talk to him."
That's why she's so fucking cool, dude.
yeah. She's like, I don't give a fuck, man. Where is he? So she goes out and talks to him, and he's like, Carmen, man, I fucking go crazy without
he's
you.
insane at this
Yeah,
point.
he's lost his goddamn mind, right? And so she's like, look, I'll hear out your bullshit. Okay, I'm gonna stand here and take it, and then you get the fuck out of here. And he's like, nah, right? Fucking stabs her in the gut, right? That's how all
And
these
everybody
operas fucking
comes
end.
out.
Right? And he's like, I fucking did it, right? And he says something. I can't remember the last line of the show. He's like, Carmen, what does he say?
I don't know, but
I love you. I think he says, I love you, right?
put me in jail or something.
Yeah.
I can't. You can arrest me.
Something like that, right?
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't fucking remember.
And then
maybe
he
we should
opens
have
his arms,
researched it.
he opens his legs, and the flower drops out.
Oh yeah.
So that's the show, right? Then he kills her, and then
Ew, I just got what you meant. He opened his legs and the flower dropped out. Why does he still have it in his ass, dude? Why is it still tucked up in his ass? I guess if you get used to that up there, you
man,
need
it's like it's like the Count of Monte Cristo. He's got to sleep on the hard floor, you know.
That's right.
after
And now
being imprisoned.
that's right.
Look, so then you hear the bullfight, and they're like, "Yeah, it's Escamillo." And then she's dead, and he's got fucking.
That last scene where he's going nuts. Ugh.
It's great shit. Let's get into it, man.
Man.
So, what do you want to jump in, huh?
I was gonna say, what was I gonna say?
I mean,
Something really interesting. Oh, so in the book, two interesting things from the book too.
You mean like the original?
The original
story,
book,
okay.
which isn't necessarily just about that. I don't think. I think anyway. I didn't read it. I just read a summary of it. So, a lot of it is told from Don Jose's jail cell, from his perspective in his jail cell,
In the book.
waiting to be executed for killing Carmen.
Okay.
So it's all from his. A lot of it's from his perspective, and he's already committed the act. He's already ready to die.
Okay,
right.
okay.
That's the first interesting thing. The second interesting thing is Carmen had a husband,
yeah, I knew that. I heard that Carmen had like a husband in the original book.
and Don Jose fucking killed him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The book was pretty dark. They cleaned it up a bit.
Yeah.
For the opera, as intense as the opera is, like
Yeah.
you can go darker. But it's also interesting because when you take all that stuff out of the book, when you watch Carmen, it's kind of unclear: is that story about Carmen or is it about Don Jose?
Why isn't it about both?
Yeah, because I mean, every story kind of has to be someone's story most of the time.
Yeah, but
And I think it's like you only see Carmen as a prequel to when he comes into the scene. But like you don't see Carmen during those 2 months that he's in jail, right? You don't see anything about her life. When we're in the mountains, it's only because Don Jose's there. When Don Jose goes back home, in between that and the bullfight, you don't see anything about Carmen.
yeah, but
You only see Carmen with scenes that have Don Jose in it. It's like
yeah, but you only see Don Jose in scenes that have Carmen in it. In the second act, Carmen's there before Don Jose is
that's
there.
That's true.
And she's considered the heroine in the story.
Yeah.
She's the heroine. She's the one who you're supposed to cheer for.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a weird one. And I mean
I don't know that there has to be just one.
Well,
I think it's about both
that's
of them.
something I
It's
like.
definitely not about
that's
Escamillo.
That's something I like about that show because both those lead characters kind of back then you were kind of transitioning into Verismo, you know? Like this was a little bit before like all the big Verismo pieces. You know what I mean? Where you have these real life fucking characters in these real life situations.
Well, it is. It is maybe they didn't call it that at the time, but it is Verismo.
Well, I think it's still technically an opera comique or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, but that's maybe just because of the classification that they had text in
dialogue.
between.
But that's what I'm saying is after Bizet died, they changed because for those of you who don't know, Carmen was originally basically songs with text in between, which basically came from this vaudeville type shit. And vaudeville was basically like popular songs with text put in. They would basically take pop songs and kind of make a story.
Well,
out
that
of
was
it.
also the tradition at the Opéra Comique.
Right. And so this
Paris.
is kind of coming from that. But with the way that these main characters worked, with the spoken dialogue, it was still very much that genre. But after he died and they chopped it up and turned it into recits, then it became like a Verismo piece.
Yeah, he had nothing to do with that, though.
No. And that's something I like about Carmen is because it's a piece that you see changed a lot.
Yeah.
And modernized and updated because there is no original score.
Right.
It was changed so fucking much. Nobody can argue exactly what Bizet wanted.
Right.
In that shit. And so
But we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I kind of barely give a fuck what Bizet wanted. It's our piece now.
Me too. But you always have to go against that argument. You know what I mean? But if you don't have that argument, then there's not really a reason. And if there's one show, like right now at the Alte Oper in Frankfurt, they're doing like a musical version of Carmen right now. It's called like Carmen from Cubana or something like that.
It's not Carmen Jones, is it? By the way, also an amazing adaptation. You know Carmen Jones, right?
No.
Oh, man. In the 70s, they did an all-black cast of Carmen, and it was called Carmen Jones. It was in English, and it was modernized. It was fucking awesome, dude.
I know that in 2001, Beyonce was Carmen in like some movie that was a hip opera. It was like in theaters, man. It was like called Carmen something. It was like called, I'm not going to look it up, but Beyonce was like Carmen from Manhattan. I don't fucking know what it's called.
They did that also with Othello, didn't they? Wasn't there a modern version of Othello?
I think so, but Carmen you see it a lot with, and I've done at least 2 or 3 Carmens. I did one like in Pittsburgh. I did like Carmen the Gypsy or something like that, where like they hired a flamenco dancer.
Awesome.
Here they're doing it right now.
It's a flexible
I also
piece.
saw like in Wiesbaden. Yeah, you can cut it up. It was built in a way where you can chop it up and kind of take things out, put things in, have dialogue, no dialogue. And I think that's good because people are really afraid to do that. Because you could also do that with the magic flute, but people don't do that shit, you know?
We are doing it with the magic flute.
Yeah, really?
I'm not exactly sure what this production's coming out, I guess, in 2 months or something like that.
Like you don't know if you're allowed to talk about it?
I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about it. Let's just say the dialogue we're feeling free with. Yeah. We're feeling free with it, and I love it.
Yeah, we talked about this. I don't think you should talk about it.
Yeah.
But once it's out, talk about it because it is really interesting what you guys are doing with that. It is pretty, not revolutionary, but whatever step below that is. Interesting.
It's of course not revolutionary, but it's at least honest, is what it is. It's honest.
It's an attempt.
Anyway, let's keep going. What was I going to say about? Oh yeah, who's your favorite? What are some of your favorite people in this?
What, like characters or people that have sung it?
People that have sung it.
Well, have you sung a role in the show?
Yeah, I sang Remandado.
Okay. I did Zuniga back in the day, and then I've done Escamillo a few times. But the funny thing about Escamillo is I sang that a lot in America, but in Germany they like
I didn't know you've done it that much.
Yeah, I did it like I did 2 Escamillos in the States, and in Germany it's hard to get a gig sometimes because they want a bass. In Germany they want a bass to sing Escamillo.
I don't understand that.
I don't either, but
I don't want a bass to sing it.
In the States, baritones get to sing that role a lot, but it is a bass. Anyway, so people I heard that have sung it.
Although Jose Van Damme he's a bass. He's a bass and he does it really well.
Is he a bass? I mean, he sung those
bass baritone,
things.
I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, like I auditioned a few times in Germany for that role, and they were like, "We like you, but we want a bass." You know. Like hooking on those C's at the beginning, like like already hooking at the beginning.
Whatever they want, I guess.
People I've heard singing. There's this. What's this German bass baritone? Edwin Schrott or whatever.
Erwin
Schrott.
Yeah.
He does. He's doing good work. He somehow is like a bit under the radar.
He's a baritone though.
He's a bass baritone.
Is he?
He sings like Colline and shit. Yeah.
Huh? Wasn't he married to? Wasn't he married to Anna Netrebko? That was him.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah,
good-looking guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
real
he kind
good-looking
of
guy.
just quit aging. Like 30, 40, 50. He's like, he looks the same.
He looks exactly
No,
the same.
he does a good job of that because it is a role you got to look good, but you also got to have an older voice, you know? I really like him. I like a lot of the stuff he's done. And somehow a lot of people don't know him or he's not like, I feel like he should be more famous than he is, that guy. Mm-hmm. I don't know what his deal is, but I liked him and Escamillo. Back in the day, I thought Domingo did a good Jose.
Yeah, he's great.
I thought Domingo did a great Jose back in the
It's
day.
great for his voice. For his voice, it's basically perfect.
But also, he's a great actor.
Yeah, he's very good.
I like his Pagliacci too, you know, his Canio, but he brings some fucking intensity, and that's an intense opera.
Come on, dude, Franco Corelli.
Yeah,
that end scene with him is fucking
of course.
crazy.
But he was all voice. Have you seen him?
No, he
perform
wasn't.
that much?
Yeah, dude, you are wrong about that one. Man, you just pissed off a lot of tenors.
Well, you know
You just
what?
pissed off a lot of tenors.
I just asked a question. All right, I didn't make a statement.
No, you said he's all voice.
I said he's kind of all voice. I had that like American half in, half out type of feeling about it. What, are you gonna show me a video?
Yeah, I don't know. We can't play much of it, right?
I mean, as long as we're commenting on the video, then it's under the fair use
I want to comment on it.
copyright. All right, what is this? Is that where your speaker is?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
yeah. Isn't that weird?
Okay, I see.
You should see this setup we have here. And it's one of these old black and white videos. Oh, man. He's fucking insane, dude.
Who's that?
I can't
I don't like that chick so much. That's a crazy hat she's got on.
That is very Carmen-y. You gotta watch him. Look at him. He's literally losing his shit.
Okay, yeah.
Dude,
All right.
it looks like there's something about to eat its way out of his fucking face.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah. This is when he was pretty young, too, and he had faster vibrato, I think.
Yeah. I don't like her at all, man.
She's okay. I don't know who that is, though. We should put a link up. We should maybe put a link to the video so that people can check it out for themselves. What do you think?
If you want to do that work, you're the one that introduced this equation.
On YouTube.
Yeah, all right. Ah, he almost pulled her costume off, man. Phew,
Fucking right.
that would have pissed her off.
Look at him. He wants to get in there and kill some Escamillo, too. Just wait, dude. Just wait.
It's a little stage acty for me, man.
Just wait, dude.
All right, he's
Look
got
at him.
good
Look.
moments. That's his thing, man.
I love this old-timey shit. Oh, my God. Look at him.
How much does he want to show, man?
Oh, yeah, there's still like 3 minutes of it or so.
Yeah,
Let me skip to the end. Hold on. Oh. Oh, I skipped the best part, actually.
You got to cue these up in advance, man. You can't.
man,
This is
I'm
why.
fucking
This is
it
why
up.
if you have a party, at my parties, I always have a no YouTube rule.
No YouTube rule.
No
Okay.
YouTube, because then what happens if
We should cue these things up in advance, though, so that we can listen to it and actually comment on it. though.
Yeah, we're allowed to. But if this was a party, I would then pull out a recording of
Right,
Domingo,
I know.
and then you would
Dude,
pull
I
out
know.
Kaufman.
Party foul. It's a party
and
foul.
then half the people would leave, and then you and I would
know,
just be here
dude.
circle jerking. Okay.
Just fucking circle jerking to Corelli. Oh, man.
No, man, Corelli's good, but he's one of those singers where his voice sometimes is. We talked about this last night. We were texting about this. His voice is a bit too perfect for me sometimes.
What are you talking about, dude?
Well, because he does this like shit he does sometimes, but it's very vibrant. It's very round. And it's like it's. I don't know, man. He's great. He's one of the
Get
greatest.
the fuck out of here.
He's one of the greatest tenors that have ever lived.
Don't try to come back and
No, man,
appease us
I'm
now.
not. No, that's my opinion. Okay, and you all can fuck
Too
off.
perfect. Too perfect?
I said sometimes. I didn't say all the time, but sometimes, like when he's singing, I like his Vesti la Juba or something like that. I heard once. It was like, it's I don't know. That's just the mentality I've had lately. I've been in that mood lately that a lot of opera is like it has to be so goddamn.
Man,
clean.
I guess I have some live recordings I got to introduce you to from Franco Corelli.
No, he's a great singer.
Amazing.
I have spent many thousands of hours of my life listening to Corelli. I used to have this CD that I would just fucking flip over, fucking listen to over and over and over and over again, man.
I've
heard so
him.
much Corelli in my life. He's top 5.
The thing is,
he's top 5 for me.
We just talked about it the other day. I listened to a recording of Jared singing Scarpia. He said, "What do you think of this section where I could either sing it or I could yell it a little bit?"
Yeah.
And he said, "My instinct as a fucking actor is to yell it a little bit, just to fucking give it to her, right?"
Right.
And he was maybe right, but Corelli does that shit all the time.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
He does that shit all the time. Well,
I lose. Right, you win. You win.
Well, no, your alternative is Domingo. Or what about Delmonico? What do you think of him? Is it too hard?
I was never that big a fan of him. I don't know, man.
But for me, the thing is, Delmonico sometimes, or I oftentimes thought he had, like Corelli had the same sort of thing that Delmonico had, where he would depress that larynx.
Yeah.
Although Corelli called it floating larynx, he didn't say depressed larynx, right? They studied with the same teacher, but Corelli said that I'm just floating my larynx lower, right?
Right.
Anyway, what Delmonico could not do that Corelli could do for days is a messa di voce, that he could start quiet and get loud as fuck and then go way back down. His diminuendos were just...
Corelli.
Mwah.
Yeah, well, Corelli was...
Corelli.
Corelli, like, he was floating a different, like, resonance track. You know what I mean? Like, he was in a bit of a flexible place. But if you drop that shit to the fucking bottom, then you're going to sacrifice a lot of flexibility.
I guess.
For that Alasa high. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so.
And
Carmen, do you have any opinion on Carmen?
Oh, man. No. Carmen's a hard one to cast because, like, her big aria and, like, these other, like, sexy opera arias, like, from Bohème, what's her name?
Musetta.
Quando in Bo. Yeah, that shit. Like, these ones, like, everyone always sings, like, that always crushes at an opera gala. Yeah. You know what I mean? But when people do that at a fucking Italian restaurant or an opera gala, they just show off their body and they go sexy with it, you know? Which sells in the context of one song in a thing. But actually, when you do Carmen's not just, like, fucking oozing sex the whole show. That's a complicated character.
Yeah, she's oozing. She does ooze sex, but it's more out of freedom.
It's freedom and it's confidence, and it's not this, like, look at my body. But whenever you see people, tell me if I'm wrong, but my opinion is whenever I see people do that song in a fucking Italian restaurant, it's just like you walk around and you put your finger on the cheek of the old man sitting at the table in the front, and you, like, make it this big, flirty, cute or sexy thing. But Carmen's a very deep, complicated, dark character, and it's hard to find one because Callas recorded Carmen.
Did she never sing it?
But she never did the role.
Huh.
And I think it's because she didn't want to. I don't think there was any, because people would have had her, of course. But I don't know. I can't make that statement because I can't look it up, but I know she never did the role.
Okay, that's interesting. Look, the thing about singing it in the restaurant is you can't do a complete portrait of who Carmen is in a restaurant.
Yeah, but you can.
Yeah, but wait, what I'm saying is that whole sexy thing right there might work better in the isolated incidents of a restaurant, of the restaurant, than it would in the opera. In the opera, it has to be a bit more subtle.
Because she's singing it to a group of girls, right? She's singing it to her friends, right?
Yeah, but everybody's watching. She's doing it knowing that all those guys are salivating over. I mean, the way I see it is she's the hottest one at that cigarette factory.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Then what's her? Yeah, okay.
I can imagine if I were to do a staging of it, I'd imagine that the men probably are like, oh my God, it's 2:45. They're about to come out.
Yeah.
We got to wait for Carmen to come out. Oh shit, here they come. And then there's just a fucking group of guys waiting for her to come out of that door because she's the hottie McTottie.
Yeah.
Look, back in 1820 in Seville, there was fucking nothing to do.
I get it. She was hot.
Nothing.
Yeah, but then my point is, what's her goal?
She's bohème. She's a free spirit sort of person. Yeah. It's not that sex is the important thing. It's that doing exactly what she wants at any given moment is the important thing. And saying exactly what she wants at any given moment is the important thing. And when she wants to have sex, she has to be free to do it, which means that, we see her have sex or we see her like put herself in that position when she wanted something, right? And then when she wanted Jose later, but he turned her off, so he didn't want her. She didn't want it anymore. So she changed it immediately because then she wanted something different. So it's not the sex that's really important.
Yeah.
It's doing exactly what she wants at any given moment.
Yeah, but that's my point, is she's lashing out at the system, And like, you can, even in a restaurant, show that color. You know what I mean? You can show, like, you can somehow show that this aria is not just look how hot I am, but this aria is also like, fuck you for trying to repress me.
Yeah,
something like that.
Fucking right. Amen. Amen.
I mean,
do you feel like they do it better in the in opera productions than they do?
No, it's not just.
Or what's your critique?
My critique is that often when people get a chance to do Carmen or Musetta or something like that, they don't. They stay on the surface.
Yeah, they don't
go deep. Like it's Carmen is sexy, but she's not sexy just because she's sexy.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
Being sexy is a lot of variables mixed in.
Sexy
together.
comes. People who are confident are immediately 1,000 times sexier. They're so much sexier.
Well, because that's what I was going to say.
And that's why Carmen's so sexy. She's hot, but she's probably so sexy because she's so confident.
Because I've heard great Carmens, in recordings. Callas does a great Carmen, but I've seen less Carmens that sing it well and look great. And I mean, I'm not a mezzo. I always sang Escamillo, and so I was not at the first half of the rehearsals. I came in late. I sang my song, the duet, the fucking other duet, and I was out of there.
Yeah.
Escamillo is like, people blow that roll up, but that's a small fucking roll.
That's small, right?
You know what I mean? And so I was in and out. I wasn't hanging around. So I got to be honest, I don't know that much about what mezzos are singing Carmen, which one are good, but I've seen some great ones. I'm terrible with names. There's a lot of modern people, but also opera recently has kind of made a shift from not just singing, but also visually. You have to be able to portray the characters accurately, the depth and stuff. And there's a lot of people that are doing that right now. And I wish I knew their names, but I don't.
Yeah, me neither. I want to say something about Callas. She didn't really do anything, do much with Carmen, so you say. I didn't know that she never sang the role. That's a shame. I think. I sometimes. She's kind of a polarizing person in the opera world with opera singers, because that wobble that she would have on higher notes, that turns a lot of people off. I understand it. For the longest time, I didn't like it either. There is not a person, not a person who has sung that I've ever heard that has come anywhere close to understanding why a piece of coloratura or an ornament exists and motivating it. She's the most expressive. She's maybe, I would say, the most expressive singer that's ever lived.
Yeah.
Because there's not a second in her voice that is not expressing something.
Yeah.
When she did Rosina, the Una voce poco fa, there's this old black and white recording. I'm sure most of our listeners know it. Have you seen it before?
Yeah. Do you need me here for this? Can I grab the beer real quick?
Go grab the beer.
Okay, I'll be fast.
There's this great recording of her singing this, and I once described it like this to somebody. I said, because I've tried for the longest time to define what it is about her coloratura and her ornaments that makes them so effective, and I figured out. I called it gravity. Not gravity like it's a grave situation, but it literally feels like when she is up on one note and she has an ornament down to the next one, it's almost like a ball rolling down a fucking hill and then going back up the other side. Like she sings da 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 da, and it's just. I mean, I can't even...
Yeah, there's this tension and release, this ebb and flow, and that's not something you can train into every note. You have to have a bigger idea of what the arc and the goal is.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
And she has
intent through the line.
It's like it's almost the only person that I've ever listened to the coloratura and not thought, oh my God, that's perfect or technically good. I just thought, holy shit, that means something.
Yeah, putting
One
that
of the
momentum
only
in.
people ever.
I mean, color tour is not my thing. You know what I mean?
Mine neither.
But people who get into color tour, I imagine it's like you spend so much time learning each note, that it's in tune, that it's the same length, that it's clean, that the vowel's right, that, God, at the end of that whole process, to then make music out of it, and then to have it motivate a character.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing, man. That's underappreciated how difficult it is.
It seems like a lot of those older singers, so I don't know if people know this. When you talk about romantic music, there was actually certain signifiers of how romantic music was performed at those times, right?
Yeah.
One of the things are hugely flexible tempi, like within phrases even, right? Very typical of romantic performance. The other one was sort of extreme imprecision, not intentional, but rather because expression.
Like scooping and portamento and stuff, you mean?
Scooping portamentos, the orchestra maybe not being exactly together.
I see.
Or the singer maybe not being exactly with the orchestra.
Okay.
It wasn't. You hear that stuff nowadays, and people just fucking get a rock hard on for criticizing it. Oh, this 30-second note wasn't exactly together with this. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the fucking point back then. The point was to emote. And Carlos, if I can just get to the end of this, I don't mean to speak on forever.
This is not a callous podcast.
I know, but
I'm just fucking.
Her thing was. It seemed like, I'm sure she worked on the coloratura very much. It seems to me like the expression of the coloratura was more important than the perfect execution of it. The same thing with the high notes. Whenever there was a bit of a wobble, much more important to that lady was getting the right idea and feeling of it. Anyway, there's my wet dream callus thing. There you go.
I didn't know I was opening up a can of worms there, man.
No, I mean, I think she's a bit. I know she's like one of the most legendary opera singers, but I hear a lot of opera singers shit on her.
Yeah.
And that makes me sad.
Yeah. She's aight, man.
Fuck you. Beck's Amber Lager now.
Yeah, we switched to the Beck's Amber Lager. So then what? Well, you got. I guess you said Corelli was yours.
I guess I didn't. I don't think I've ever heard Ramon Vinay do it before, and he's almost always my favorite every time I listen to him in anything.
Yeah. I mean, to get back to the opera of Carmen itself and not just the singers, I feel like it's a cool piece because there's not, I don't know if I've ever seen a fucked up Carmen. I saw once one where there was like a bunch of dildos and like penis balloons, but like usually it's like, it's a show that you just have to fucking do it and it works most of the time, I feel like. Because it's so, the music is such an important part of that show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think Bizet himself didn't fucking like Escamillo's Toreador song.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd you hear that?
I read that once somewhere where he said like, he's like, yeah, they got their fucking like Spanish song. Like he like put it in there because he had pressure to put something like that in there. But I think he wasn't like 100% like.
That was the Spanish song?
Poured his heart into it. I can't remember, man.
But I think so many more things are more Spanish than
Not
that.
Spanish. It had another subgenre of a subgenre, like this, like whatever,
That's
some
a shame.
Spanish folk thing. But yeah, I think it wasn't his favorite piece. You know what I mean?
Huh. It's not my favorite piece in the opera.
I mean, it's cool. Bum bum ba-na-na-na-na. Like it's very. I mean,
raucous.
I don't know why it's so famous. Because as a baritone, I mean, we love that piece because if you do a restaurant gig or something, there's no party pieces for baritone. You got the largo, and then what? You know what I mean? Then what? Like tenors, sopranos, you guys got piece after piece after piece. That's like, like let's fucking feel good and sing fucking.
That's right. You've got largo and escamillo.
You got largo and escamillo, then what? You're out. That's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
But you guys got the Duke, you got all that shit.
You got all that stuff. Hey, but you know what? I was just thinking about it. I was going, when you were talking and I wasn't paying attention to you, I was going through all the pieces in Carmen that I remember. I think if I had to put a candidate forward for an opera doing the best job at transporting you to a particular place, being descriptive of the feel and descriptive of the place. I think Carmen is it. I think Carmen is it.
I think you're right because even like some of this Verdi stuff and like the stuff that's like set in the hills of Spain, it doesn't have the sound,
this dirt
and the story. And I mean, Carmen, it's just like it looks what it sounds like, and the story fits. You're right, man.
There's one other person that I find when I go to the place where it was composed, I think to myself, fuck, that is exactly what I hear Vivaldi. If you go to Venice and you hear it in your goddamn head, I don't know why, but it's just so fitting for that area.
Yeah.
And I know I know Bizet wasn't from Spain, but he did a remarkable job of composing.
Yeah, I mean, I think he went like deep into like a lot of different like
or at least in my impression of Spain. I don't know what it's like.
Well, and that's interesting too, because I was wondering that. I was listening to the Flying Dutchman the other day, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, this sounds like fucking pirate music, but I have no reason to know what pirate music sounds like. You know what I mean? So it's like, my question is, did Wagner kind of create what pirate music was? You know what I mean?
think maybe.
Because then I went down this like YouTube rabbit hole where I was listening to Pirates of the Caribbean and shit. And I was like, this is all just a ripoff of Wagner. You know, but before Wagner and that piece, did anyone create a pirate sound? Because pirates were probably singing sea shanties, right?
Yeah.
They were like, ho, ho, pada, ho, ho. Like
And rum and pussy.
but that
and
didn't sound like the bam, banana, like this fucking like full orchestra, like wide harmony, like rolling ocean shit that you hear in the Pirates of the Caribbean that comes from Wagner. Like, but I hear that as pirate music.
Yeah.
But that can't be what pirate music is. That's kind of irrelevant because Bizet did, I think, what Spanish music was.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? These dances that came from Spain, you know, that is actually a folk part of the folk culture and stuff of that country.
That's true. By the way, one thing I wanted to say about I always think it's a shame you hear so few recordings that do Escamillo's aria well with the orchestra. I think it's just my opinion. I think they're way too conservative with dun 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 dun.
You mean they're too slow or what?
No, not nearly as raucous.
Yeah, that's what I mean, man. Yeah, that's
and also pulling back on the tempo too.
Yeah, I mean, it's when these pieces get popular, then it becomes a standard, and it's like you have to kind of adhere to the standard, and then it takes away the freedom to be able to do something special with it. That's just a normal part of it.
Also, I gotta say, many Escamillos aren't nearly as adventurous with it vocally. Like with the storytelling that he does,
it's hard because, I mean, as someone who has sung Escamillo a lot, you get a pressure to do because that's a complicated aria. The rhythms and shit are actually very complicated to do correct.
Right, but that's the whole point of this.
It sounds repetitive, but it's not, you know?
That's the point of this romantic thing, though.
Yeah.
The romantic thing is that wasn't necessarily the most important thing. The most important thing was the expression.
Yeah.
He's telling again, there was fuck all to do every day in these places in Spain. All of a sudden, there comes a guy that can tell a really good story.
Yeah. You
know?
I agree with you, but when you get
and most of the time, I just hear, it's just fucking line, and why can't it be just a little...
It can sometimes, man, but people won't hire you for that shit. I tell you.
I know why.
Because you do and you do this like shit. Like, they're not gonna fucking hire you for that, man. It's gotta be like it's gotta be fucking
the fucking jazz.
All right, look,
version,
we're
baby.
at like 57 minutes. So
No way.
If we're gonna do this casting, we gotta get into it here.
Oh, casting. Oh, good Jesus. Yeah, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna walk away with this one. I'm gonna walk away.
You want to talk about being able to do romantic music, baby?
I haven't heard that one for a while. We haven't done a casting for a while. I should get up here on the mic.
That was like 5 months ago, man.
Woo!
You want to go roll for roll, or let's blow through this quickly, huh?
All right.
Or do you want to do my cast and your cast?
Why don't you go through first?
All right. So,
I wonder if we have any overlap. I'm curious.
I doubt it, man.
I'll bet you Carmen. Carmen, I think, might be. You go from the shittiest, the smallest roles first to Carmen, right?
Okay, I'll do them in pairs. So Raymondado and whatever the fuck that other guy's name is. For Raymondado, I did Johnny Depp, right? Because I thought he was a good pirate smuggler type person. And for the other one, which is what is his fucking name, man? Dong
Cheadle.
Whatever the fuck his name is, I can't remember right
Who?
now. The other smuggler, Don
Cairo.
Yeah, that
Cairo.
fucker. I did John Malkovich, man.
Okay.
John Malkovich and Donnie Depp, man. I thought that was hilarious.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. Well, because you need like the funny one, and then you need the fucking crazy one to balance it off. So you take them seriously.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
I dig it.
All right. Then for the two girls that hang out with Carmen, I did Michelle Rodriguez, which it was an Avatar. She was like the one that was flying the helicopter and shit.
I don't fucking remember that one.
Nah, she's always badass. She's always badass. I picked 3 badass girls, right? Then the other one, Franny, I did Helena, what's her name? Helena Bonham Carter, whatever. The chick from Fight Club.
Good one.
Right?
Good one.
But I
didn't
do her as Carmen, though. I did her as the friend.
Would have done it had I remembered her. Would have done it.
Okay, then the other pair, Zuniga and Morales. For Zuniga, I did Mel Gibson. Right?
You know, I thought about Mel Gibson.
Post-drunk hamburger, okay?
Nice.
Then Morales, I did Russell Crowe, man. I just needed. I wanted two fighters in there. You know.
Okay, I went so totally different.
I
with
told
those
you
ones.
that. All right, now to the big four. Okay, this is all what you came for. Michaela, I did Natalia Dyer, which is the girl from Stranger Things. Man, she's the older sister
Oh yeah.
of the Barbara,
With that
the
strong,
friend of Barbara.
with that strong jawbone.
Yeah,
of
but
hers.
because you
She's
need
got
but it's really hard to find someone who is really really innocent. I think that girl's so innocent looking. Because I was thinking about Emma Watson or something like that, but she wasn't.
Emma Watson would be a
Yeah, but she's
decent
talking
one.
at the EU and shit. I don't know. She's really strong, and for me, Michaela wasn't that strong of character. You know
That's
what I mean?
right. Okay.
Okay, so then Escamillo, I went Hugh Jackman. Yeah.
Good.
Escamillo, people always do some muscle fucking hunk, you know what I mean?
I got it.
But yeah, I know, but he's a fucking bullfighter. He'd be lean and he'd be charming. Fucking Hugh Jackman. All right.
Huge Ackman. You think Wolverine is lean and charming?
I think Hugh Jackman normally is. I was thinking more Oklahoma, like not Oklahoma, not Wolverine, but somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Okay, Jose, right? Christian Bale.
Okay.
I went Christian Bale because that guy could lose his goddamn mind.
Okay.
All right. And then Carmen, I went Mila Kunis.
Nice. Okay. Well, I guess I'll start there. I got Mila Kunis as Mercedes.
Okay.
She's one of the smugglers. She looks like a smuggler to me.
Yeah, she had to be in there one way or the other. Yeah.
Definitely. I'm going for Frasquita. Is it Frasquita? I can't even fucking remember.
I can't remember, man. Those are so weird. Those ones.
Yeah, Frasquita. Right.
Yeah.
I went with an old school.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to remember her in her heyday, Halle Berry.
Yeah. Okay.
Halle Berry, going
That's
for
fine.
that.
Swordfish.
The other two smugglers, Remondado, I went with Ryan Reynolds because have you ever seen him in Deadpool?
Yeah, of course.
He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
So I went with a funny guy,
Mm-hmm.
but a guy that's also can get some shit done.
Okay.
You know, sort of hard edge. The other one, Don Cairo, I went with Tom Hardy. Have you ever seen him in that movie where they're rum runners?
No.
Where they're bootleggers?
But I've seen him in a lot of shit.
Man, that's fucking good.
He's good, man.
Morales,
Yeah.
I went with John Goodman. I wanted a big guy.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know
okay.
why. I wanted a big guy doing that.
John
one.
Goodman can be a threatening dude.
I know, but he should be a little threatening.
Yeah. John Goodman can play funny, but he in
Mercedes has to feel like I got to get out of here.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I can't remember that fucking movie he did with George Clooney. What was that called?
Brother, where art thou?
Yeah, John Goodman was terrifying in that.
He was. That was amazing. But that's another thing.
Yeah.
Like schmarmy, I guess it is. Like just like fucking. He was really nice to them, but was dangerous.
Yeah, sure.
Tsuniga, I guess. I don't know how you where the stress is on that one.
Tsuniga, I think.
We talked about this the other day.
What?
I don't know if it was you, if we talked about it, or if it was
A different podcast.
me and Dodo.
Oh, okay.
I'm giving somebody a chance here to stretch their wings. Tsuniga is Tom Hanks. Everybody considers Tom
that
Hanks.
was you and I talking about that.
Yeah, that's right. Everybody considers Tom Hanks the absolute good guy, right?
Yeah.
I want to
Okay.
see him do one of these ones.
Okay.
It's not. It's just a starter bad guy role.
I wonder if he's got some more low end to his voice, you know?
Definitely, he's got it all.
Yeah, you think so?
I do.
I just
He's a talented actor, dude.
Yeah. No, he's one of the best actors I've ever fucking seen in my life. But, okay.
Don't be a douchebag to him. Amy Adams for Michaela.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Fucking
That was a good one.
innocent, beautiful. Escamillo, I went with Hunky Dory, Clive Owen. You know Clive Owen?
Yeah, of course.
Remember him?
Yeah, sure.
You need a good-looking face.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And he's got like one of the most masculine, beautiful faces ever.
Yeah, man.
Don Jose, you're not going to believe it, Christian Bale.
You did.
I did Christian Bale.
Man, okay. See?
I
it's
think
the right
that's.
pick.
I almost think that's a no-brainer.
You had a good poker face, man. You didn't even react when I said
I
that.
know. I was going to, but then I thought, let's see. Let's put that in the back pocket. I think I kicked your ass with Carmen.
What was that?
Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie.
Man, she's always too elegant, man.
What are you talking about, dude?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about every second she's ever been on any screen in any movie that's existed.
Elegant?
Yeah,
Sometimes
man.
she's like the dirty girl a lot.
When?
Often. Haven't you
wait,
ever
there
seen
is
her in
one-
that one? Like one of the first things that made her famous, where she's like insane. She's in an insane asylum. What is it called? God damn it.
There's one where she has like a tank top on.
Right, that's it.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. I can't remember what it is. If you vamp for a second, I'll get up IMDb.
Yep. All right. Yeah. Well, Mike's getting on his phone. Look, once
Angelina Jolie,
one Mike
baby.
does this, we'll be done. That's Carmen for you. I guess by the time this comes out, the cocktail will be done and all that.
Oh yeah,
All that stuff.
we'll be doing it anyway. Look, everybody else can look it
You
up.
can
I
fucking
wasn't
look it up.
fast enough.
Angelina Jolie. All right, so that's Carmen. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to say about it?
No,
We did a synopsis. It's a great opera.
great opera.
If you haven't seen a lot of opera or you haven't seen Carmen, then check it out.
Hey, you know what? In one of the old, one of the just the tips was, my boyfriend wants to go to an opera. What should I take him to?
Yeah.
I think this one qualifies as another good one. Lot of things that people recognize.
Yeah, Carmen's a great live opera.
Great live opera to the lay person. It's one that they know a lot of the tunes from, so they'll be able to relate to it in some way.
Man, but it's like Act 3 gets slow, just like Bohème.
Yeah, I know.
All these Vervismo operas, Act 3 is like, man.
That's true, but it picks up.
Yeah, no, it's good though. It's a good one. Take them to see Carmen, all right?
People, that's it for us this week. Listen, sexdrugsandopera.com. It's up. It's running. All kinds of great stuff. Great addition to the Sex, Drugs, and Opera family.
Yeah, from the website, you can find your way to all of our platforms, everything from Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, to whatever else. We got merchandise for people in Europe, for people in America.
Section for Papagaynos.
We got Papagaynos, our bar section where you can see our beer that we've rated and we have drunk on the show.
And the cocktails.
Cocktails. We're going to be building everything. Everything from blogs to photos to videos. So check the website out. We're updating it regularly. It's growing. It continues to grow. Make it a favorite. Put it on your home tab. See you next time,
Love you
everybody.
guys. See ya.